What up, guys? Welcome back to the Shinobi Squad podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
Today, we're going to talk about cosplay beefs.
Ooh.
Ooh, yes. For those that don't know what the term beef means, it's when you have a grudge with someone or someone has a grudge with you.
I think they know what that is.
Oh, in case some people don't know. For those that have been following my YouTube channel over the past few years, y'all know I speak my mind. I'm very unapologetic about some of the things I say. Naturally, people are going to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
They disagree enough to where it becomes beef. It becomes a grudge. The grudge gets so serious at times, they crawl out of their TVs to prove a point to me. That's how strong the grudge is, right?
Nice play.
Yeah. You like that? You like that? There's been a few that has stuck out. I'll start with the first story. I almost went to court over this one. There was a Party Princess company. I won't name who they were. Party Princess Company is pretty much one of these companies that if you have a birthday party for a child, they provide you with a character. Most of the time, it's a Disney princess of sorts. That's why they're called Party Princess companies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this Party Princess company decided to flex on cosplayers for whatever reason. It came out at the time during Frozen. The original was coming out. Elsa was a new character and people were trying to cosplay her.
Mm-hmm.
This company decided to use pictures of cosplayers as Elsa to talk shit about. They were like, oh, check out this Elsa and she's not accurate. She doesn't even look that good. But if you hire us, look at our Elsa. Beautiful costume, beautiful this and that. They kept pulling up pictures of cosplayers and saying, look how bad this person looks. Look how good our person looks.
Mm-hmm.
They messed up by posting a picture of one of my friends. Specifically with her, they decided to go into detail with how not good her outfit was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there like, you just ain't gonna diss my friend like that.
Mm-hmm.
I took that moment to make a YouTube video about it. Before we even get to that, I was already late on that train anyway. A bunch of cosplayers saw that before I did.
Mm-hmm.
50, 60 people were already sharing their post, making a big deal about it. The witch hunt had already begun. They were already saying things like, you shouldn't be posting cosplayer pictures saying how bad this person looks, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Cosplayers were taking it upon themselves to call the company, pleading them to take it down.
Mm-hmm.
There were already screen caps of this company being unapologetic, saying, we have every right to say what we want to say. We're advertising our company. You posted your picture online, so people have the right to use it however they want. They were defending themselves. They felt no guilt about roasting other cosplayers. I really wanted to leave it alone. I truly did. But then the cosplayer inside was like, nah, you ain't just going to roast us and give us this copy-paste apology, because they did copy-paste the same apology to so many people. So I made a video, took their pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and did the exact same thing to them. I just took a picture of their model, their cosplayer, and I roasted the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed the wig didn't line up and her natural hair showed. Her eyebrows were a little fuzzy. I just roasted everything. Anyways, I went into detail and I roasted the hell out of them. In my video, I made it a point to say, hey, you can't just pick on us and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also said, if you guys are also uncomfortable or unpleased with how this company is treating us, why don't you contact them and let them know? Of course, I became the face of their campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the people that shared their stuff, reached out to them, they decided to come at me. Because my YouTube video was getting thousands of hits
Mm-hmm.
within the first couple days, despite all the people already sharing them way before me. By the time I posted that video, at least 100 other people had shared it. They reached out to me personally and the cosplayer that I was trying to defend, talking about they're going to sue the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me I need to lawyer up. And it was funny. They were like, you can't use our picture and da-da-da-da-da. I hit them back with the exact same thing they said. I literally copy pasted, you put your picture online so we could use it for wherever we wanted.
Right.
They tried to hit me with, oh, this picture's copyrighted.
Yeah, right.
Me being a smartass, okay, prove it to me that this is copyrighted. They never proved it was copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kept threatening me for days. We're going to sue you. You better lawyer up. You better lawyer up. We're going to sue you.
They don't like the tables being turned.
Yeah, and they were just like, that's not right that you're having all these people come after us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but weren't you advertising to your customers how crappy this person looked or that person looked coming after them?
Yeah.
What am I doing that's so different than what you're doing?
And that person was just a cosplayer. They didn't have a company.
They didn't have a company. They didn't have a business. And then they try to hit me with some legal stuff. Well, according to the laws, you can have a costume up to 70% accurate or whatever the dumb shit they said. I was like, oh, okay. So you're saying your costume isn't any more accurate either then.
Mm-hmm.
You just admitted, according to the guidelines, you can only be so many percent accurate. And weren't you just roasting this person for not being accurate, even though their costume looks way better than yours?
Right.
Again, they just resorted to back. You better lawyer up because we're going to sue you.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was like, all right, you know what? Come after me. Come after me because once you do and this lawsuit's become public, I will have your legal name, the legal address of your company, and I can make this public. Do you really want that smoke?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at your fan page, your Facebook page, or whatever of your 200 people following you versus my 10,000? I don't think you want to come after the cosplay community like this.
Right.
You may sue me for a couple $1,000s, but the cosplay community will destroy your business.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you rename your company. Cosplayers are petty enough to find you and shut down every business name you come up with because
we remember.
Exactly. 'Cause we will have your legal name.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you pop up, we got you.
Mm-hmm.
Then he kind of backed off like, well, could you at least take down the video and make like some kind of like video just saying that you didn't mean it?
F you.
What? I didn't mean it. If you can take down what you said and stop talking crap, I will take down my video. They still continued defending themselves the way they did.
Wow. That would have been fair too.
Yeah, I'm willing to play ball. You know, this is a big misunderstanding. I will even go as far as making a follow-up video saying, hey, we figured it out. Stop attacking them. They stood their ground and were like, no, you know what? We're going to sue you anyway until you make an apology video.
Wow.
And it has to get as many views as your video talking shit about us.
No.
One of my
like that.
Facebook friends took it upon herself to do further research. She messaged me and she was like, this guy isn't backing down. I'm just going to expose him. I'm going to put all his information out there. I even told her, hey, don't take it that far. She didn't listen to me. She took it upon herself to look up their business address and their actual contact information. She had like 20,000 followers at the time.
Oh, wow.
She put it
That's more
on
than them.
blast on her Facebook like, hey, this is what's happening. Call these people every day. So she used her 20,000 followers to call and address this issue every day. And that just made it worse for me. They contacted me back. Why are you having people call me and harass me? I'm like, I didn't say none of that. I mean, you brought this upon yourself.
Right.
You're a legal business. Your information's out there. I told you to take that down. You can take me to court all you want. My video never said to call you and harass you.
Right.
I know my legal rights. I didn't tell anyone to do anything.
Right.
I left it up to the public. He was like, okay. We can't even get our regular business calls in because we're getting calls on the minute. Every time we hang up, another person calls. I told you, you don't want this smoke with the cosplay community.
You took it upon yourself to have this beef with not only me, but the whole community.
Yes. And I tried to explain that to him. I'm like, I didn't do this to you. You don't think all the people that reached out to you didn't copy paste what you said and post it online? Hundreds of people have posted the bullshit response you gave everybody. You put this on yourself. Sue me if you want. You may have won the battle with me, but you're going to lose the war as you are right now.
Right.
Sue me for the money I don't have. You can get in line right next to my student loan that I haven't paid for years. You can sue me in small claims court. You can win. I didn't pay my student loan. I'm not going to pay you. Join the club.
Wow.
You can garnish my wage. Okay, take 15% of whatever's left after my student loan takes their percent. It's like coming after a deadbeat dad for child support. You're going to walk home empty-handed.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Your business will be destroyed forever. Do you really want that? Finally, we came to an agreement. Because I got tired of him harassing me and my friend. Like, I could
Mm-hmm.
take it, but I felt bad for my friend. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, can you just end it with him? So I took down my video. I made a follow video saying I worked out my beef with them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was good. I did my part.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the phone calls kept coming and they still wanted to continue their war with me. I was like, look, I've done my part. I got the proof. Everything's online, everything's on
Mm-hmm.
record. So whatever you have left, that's on you.
Right.
About a month after our last contact, they threatened me one last time. We're going to sue you. I was like, okay, do what you got to do. I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last I ever heard from them.
Did they ever sue you?
No, they never sued me. Funny thing, they took down their Facebook page. Their business became non-existent.
Damn.
I told them they didn't want that smoke.
But they were harassing somebody who had nothing to do with their company, anyone's company,
Yeah.
or whatever. They were just a cosplayer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, they chose the wrong person. That was my friend, but she was only one of the many they were harassing or talking crap about. They were taking all kinds of Elsa cosplayer pictures. Look how stupid this Elsa cosplayer looks. Ours is so much better. Who knows where all that smoke came from? They posted so many people's pictures talking shit about them.
Because for some people, sadly, they can only look good on their end if they take someone else down.
Yeah.
And that's what's shitty about this situation is they took somebody who was innocent and put them on blast and said they were shit and said they looked stupid and whatever. So that smoke that they created for themselves
Yeah.
was something that they created for themselves.
They
So-
did. Because of what they did, they brought the attention to themselves.
Exactly.
And other people took action. And that was the first time I ever experienced that. Okay, the power of having an opinion on a platform. Like, that was my first realization of the chords you could strike by just saying a few words.
And it's scary when you get to a certain level of your professional situation.
Yeah.
Like it just becomes a thing, and like you can either use your platform for good or you can use it for evil. And these people, even though they didn't really have a significant platform, they just use whatever they had for evil and
Yes.
to tear people down for like bad reasons. And it's just that's what you get.
And, yeah,
Honestly, that's what you get.
That's what you get for not thinking this through.
Important tip, if you want to be successful in whatever industry that you're in, you don't have to tear somebody else down in order to be successful. It doesn't have to come to that point ever. Sorry. And if you do that, you need to rethink what it is that you do and how it is and what kind of person that you want to be known as.
Smear campaigns don't work for politicians, so they don't really work for small businesses either. As they say, what someone else eats doesn't make you shit. Doesn't matter what someone else is doing. It's not going to affect what you're doing. There's enough money, there's enough fans, there's enough marketplace for everybody. I never thought I'd have beef with a company.
Right?
Yeah, never know who's going to have beef with you in this cosplay world.
Yeah, and speaking of beef, I got a little beef story of my own in the cosplay
I'm
industry.
sure you do.
So, let's take it back in the day, maybe on a Tuesday. I don't know.
Tuesday. That was a
Again with
Tuesday.
this shit.
That was a Tuesday.
So I knew this female, this woman in the cosplay industry. I shouldn't even say industry. In the cosplay community. Community. I'm sorry. I'm just. Anyway.
Industry insinuates that they were making money as a cosplayer.
Yeah, true. And that's not even the case.
Oh, okay. I was just throwing it out there,
So-
but damn. All right.
We'll just keep it simple. So this person was in the cosplay community. I had known this person for a while. We've always had a rocky relationship. Let's just put it like that, because I don't even want to sugarcoat it. We didn't really click. Like, me and her didn't become friends. We just became acquaintances, I guess.
Yeah.
I would see her at conventions all the time. I would see her in passing. I would speak to her in passing. Nothing ever blossomed from that. We never really had like a solid friendship or anything.
Yeah.
She was just someone that I always knew. We'll call her Jessica for the sake of this podcast. I would hear from our mutual friends, because we had a lot of mutual friends together.
Yeah.
I would hear from my mutual friends that this person, Jessica, would always ask about me, like ask how I'm doing and what I'm up to. And I'm like, if this person wants to know those kinds of things, why wouldn't they just ask me?
Ask you directly. Yeah.
Because at some point we did become social media friends.
Yeah.
It was very easy to get in contact with me, because at the time, like, I wasn't doing much. I wasn't really doing that many things when I first started cosplaying and stuff like that. So it was very easy. It's still very easy to contact me no matter what it is or whatever. So it just seemed odd to me that she would ask other people,
Yeah.
our mutual friends,
Yeah.
about me. I didn't really think anything of it because I didn't know her like that and like whatever. It wasn't until I moved to California, and it wasn't until that we started to become a little bit more closer because she was kind of into the same things that I was into.
Yeah.
I started doing background acting. I was on set after set, and like anytime I would post about being on set and being on this show or whatever, I would notice on her Facebook she would say the same thing, like, "Oh, I was on this show too, and I was doing this and that, whatever." Again, like I didn't really think about it because I'm not like that. You know, I'm really not looking for situations. I'm not looking for
Yeah.
things to pop off or whatever. So I'm just saying a pattern. Every time that I was on a show, she would mention she was on a show too. Mind you, she's never said anything like this before. Like I would notice anytime that I would say something, she would say something similar. So it started off small, and then I started talking about cosplay. And things that I was cosplaying for an event or something like that. And I would notice that she would say like, "Oh yeah, I cosplayed that years ago. I did that already. Here's the picture."
Mm-hmm.
I would start seeing a pattern with that too. It's like, can I get a break? Like, what's going on? Like, you obviously we're not the same person. Like, obviously we're not doing the same things on purpose. So, say it was from Naruto. Like, I
Yeah.
made this costume from Naruto, whatever. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, I did that same one years ago. Look at this." And like, she would post her own thing about how she cosplayed from Naruto. But it wouldn't be like, I never even knew that she cosplayed this thing from Naruto. Like, it would just be like only when I said it.
Yeah, because you've known her for
Yeah.
years, and this is the first
She's
time
never-
you've ever seen this cosplay.
So it was stuff like that. Like, I know I'm not going crazy, and I don't want to say anything about it because I don't want to seem like, you know, petty or whatever.
So she was pretty much shadowing.
And at this point,
I forgot
really,
what the term was called, but yeah, she was like shadowing you.
Yeah.
So when you posted something, she would post something too.
right.
How frequent or how close was the post? So if you would post something, was it
That
like
same day.
oh damn,
So hours later.
hours later?
It's like she literally saw me post something and just chimed in her
Yeah.
own time. So it started with the whole acting thing, then it started with cosplay, and then I started doing fashion more. I make my own fashion and cosplay. One of the biggest reasons I moved out here to California is to be closer to the fashion industry.
yeah,
So I would post about fashion stuff, things that I've made within fashion. Minutes later, hours later, whatever it was, she would post the same thing. "Look what I'm doing. I'm doing fashion
I'm
now."
doing fashion.
And it wasn't until that is when I started really thinking about it. Like, wow, is she copying me or what's going
Yeah,
on
it's
here?
not a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence because it was okay. Acting, I get you. We're in California.
Yeah.
That's what we do out here. We're doing cosplay. I met her in the cosplay scene.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's cool. Fashion, like yeah, you did your own like original costumes and stuff like that, but it was never considered fashion to her.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I started getting more into fashion and started putting more of my fashion out there when I moved out here. It was just thing after thing after thing. It was just too frequent, too weird, and too coincidental
Mhm.
for her to just
Yeah.
say those things.
But for some reason, she took it upon herself to either try to one up you or be like, "Oh, look at me
Yeah.
too, look at me."
And I never understood that. Even to this day, I don't understand why this person took it upon themselves to shadow me like that.
It's kind of like a validation thing, I believe. A lot of people move out here to pursue some dream or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us never accomplish those dreams. Then when you see someone from your area, say you moved here from the East Coast or the Midwest or whatever, when you see someone from your area pop off, it makes you look at yourself like, what am I doing?
Right.
Here's what I think it is. They see that you're doing something and you're getting praised by the people back home. People are like, "Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you're succeeding. I'm glad you're doing you." If they never got that same praise, they're sitting there like, wait. I'm from there too. What
Mhm.
about me? What about me? They're seeing you, the person that moved there after them,
Right.
get praise. Now they want that praise because they never got it.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens so often. Being out here in LA, if you're not born and raised here and you're here to chase a dream, that stuff gets to you.
It does.
It burns a hole in your soul. You gave up your whole life to be here.
Mm-hmm. Because you see somebody doing something that you wanted to do all this
Mhm.
time and they're getting praised for it. You're just like, I was here first.
Yes,
And I get that.
it's hard enough to not compare yourself to other people. You don't
Hmm.
want to judge your success based on someone else's success. But then when someone from your area
You
is
can't
out
help
here,
it.
you can't help but be like, but how about me? They may have done the things you done already and nobody cared.
Hmm.
But then when someone cares about you, yeah, it's a natural feeling of butthurt, jealousy, because they never got that. So I think that's what it is. So they shadow you because you got praised for it.
Hmm.
So they do what you did, so they get praised for it.
Hmm.
I saw that a lot in the early hip hop days of my music career or life. People were praising us for being on tour, booking shows, throwing our own parties. So then other hip hop groups were trying to do the same thing. They would attempt to throw their own parties.
Hmm.
They would attempt to book as many shows as they could. The funny thing is, we even put that to the test, right? We chose to do a month without throwing any parties of our own. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Nobody was throwing parties.
Hmm.
Then we switched it up again. We went for a month or two without going on tour.
Hmm.
Then all the other groups dropped off.
Hmm.
It's sad that some artists don't know how to celebrate their own success without doing it the way someone else did it.
Hmm.
So I get it. But for someone to shadow you like that, that's kind of on some psycho stalker shit. Like they must have went on your social media and set you as a close friend
Or
or
put their notifications on me.
notification for every
Mhm.
time you posted something, they would see it just so they could respond.
The nail in the coffin for me was this person moved away. I noticed that they started having even more mutual friends with me. It was just specific people that I know for a fact that they have never met because
There's no way, right?
there's just no way. Like,
Yeah.
it just looked so strange. I just know for a fact that this person has never met the people that I met.
Mm.
I feel good enough to just get you off of my friends list
Yeah.
and just wash my hands clean of you because you're weird. You're weird.
Yeah. They were going as far as going through your friends list and just swiping friends. And that is another tactic of these shadowers, I guess, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
People have gone out their way to tell whoever to stop adding their friends.
It was strange. And like everything leading up to that just it confirmed my suspicions, and that was enough for me to just sever ties with this person because why aren't you talking to me?
Yeah.
Why are you going in any crevice that you can get into just to find things out? Just talk to me. Like I don't think I'm that
Uh-huh.
unfriendly of a person. Like
Yeah.
I'm very approachable.
Especially if
Just
you
talk
guys
to
are
me.
already acquaintances. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have secret beef with me?
And I never even thought that we had beef. It was just weird stuff like that that kept adding up and adding up to where I'm just like, okay,
But they had some issue though. It's like
they had to have because like,
it's
why would you do that?
Secret chef got that secret beef. Like you in the background cooking up drama.
For what?
For what exactly? Yeah, that's along the lines of being a friend of me. It's a friend that's an enemy. So they're a friend of me. They keep you around just enough to hate you,
Hmm.
but it's like why?
And I have a lot of acquaintances like that, unfortunately.
You
And
have a
it's
lot of frenemies.
and it is well, I think so. When it after this whole situation happened with Jessica, like I feel like there's similar stories to that
Yeah.
that happened in my life where I just pretty much don't really trust a lot of people and I don't keep a lot of friends close to me like that in that way because I've seen the same patterns and it freaks me out and I'm just like, well, why are we doing this? How did we get here? You know? So
I don't blame you. What's that old saying? If you can't beat them, join them. That could also mean, hey, if you can't do any better, just do what they do then.
but it just makes me feel dirty. It's like, why do you look at me like that? What about me makes you feel like you can't talk to me
Yeah.
on a regular basis as a human being?
Yeah.
I just don't understand that. So if you act like that towards me, I'm already just writing you off as just that. Like you're just weird.
No, and
you go in the
sometimes-
weird corner.
Sometimes you have to be bold enough to do that. You
Mhm.
gotta step up and just cut these weird people out of your life.
Right.
You just have to nip it at the bud before it blossoms into a full blooming flower of bullshit
Yeah.
that's gonna stink up your rose garden one day.
For lack of better words, yes.
Oh, no.
exactly.
Bars. Lack of better word. That was bars. You gotta nip it in the bud. I'm gonna say it one more time. You gotta nip it in the bud before this blossoms into a I forgot what I was going to say already. Before this blossoms into a flower of bullshit that stinks up your rose garden.
Damn.
So that is strange.
Yeah.
I do see that a lot.
Because you have to think about that. That person takes time
Yeah,
to look into what you're doing every single day.
yeah. If you just put that same time and effort into yourself as an artist, you would have these accomplishments.
Yeah.
But instead, you're spending this time researching, not even researching, stalking other people to try to one-up them and ride on their mutual, I guess, praises because you have mutual friends or whatever.
And just the one-up mentality. Why do
Yeah.
you have to do that?
Yeah.
What makes you think?
Why'd you choose me to one-up on?
And even like in general, like why do you do that to people? Why do you have the need to one-up somebody? What's that gonna prove? It's hard to talk to those kind of people because you're genuinely trying to make friends with this person, but they just want to, every time you say something, oh, I did that too, but I did it better. I did that too, but I did it differently than you did.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you need to do that? Stop saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stop being weird. I just want to close the story off with some wise words from the great Mariah Carey.
Why you so obsessed with me? Lying that you sexing me. I just wanna know.
Poorly. We forgot the words of Mariah
I forgot
Carey.
the words of that song. I just remember why you so obsessed with me. Sorry, I dropped the ball on that one. But no, that is a great song to sum up what you said. This person was clearly obsessed with what you were doing.
And
for
I don't know,
whatever
like,
reason.
do I really come off as a bad person? Like,
Yeah.
what do I attract? Am I a magnet for
All people
bullshit?
from Chicago are bad. Bang, bang. You can blame that on Chief Keef. Sorry.
Chief Keef. Oh my God. That's another story time.
Do y'all remember Chief Keef? Anyways, look him up. He's probably still on house arrest.
Oh shit.
Crazy has no explanation.
It
doesn't. Back to these cosplay beefs we talking
Yes.
about. Honestly, I have a lot of beefs. Can't even think of which one to talk about.
Can you just make friends?
Nah. I can make friends, but unfortunately, I make a lot of enemies too.
Damn.
People ain't ready for the truth, Not that I'm calling anybody out. People take it upon themselves to make the things I say about them if the shoe fits. So that segues into my next story. I had beef. No, I shouldn't say I had beef. This person had beef with me. There was a former Playboy playmate that had beef with me. Yeah, exactly, right?
I was about to reach for my mirror and like do something with my lips. And
what is Renji doing to have beef with Playboy playmates? I don't even subscribe to Playboy. Okay. How do I have beef with a playmate? Glad you asked. Let me take you back to a Tuesday. Shout out Dane Cook. Hashtag not sponsored. I know we've said that like a million times now, but it's stuck in my mind. I had made a YouTube video called Culture Vultures, right? The summary of the video was this. There's a lot of people that aren't cosplayers, that aren't a part of the nerd world. There's suddenly an influx of people who are claiming to be nerds, claiming to be a part of this community just for a come up, just to make money. I also said, that's fine. Do you, boo-boo. Get your money, get your hustle on. I never said there was a problem with making money any way you can. So if you a fake nerd capitalizing off this boom of nerd culture, then do it. The main point I was trying to hit in this video was if you are a nerd, if you are a cosplayer, and you've been in this life for years, if you're sick of all the culture vultures making all the money, then step up and support the people you feel deserve your money. Mm-hmm. If you're sick of culture vultures jumping in and taking all the money because either they're doing lewds or they're doing whatever they're doing, selling fucking popsicles for all I care. Whatever. If people from the outside are making money off our community and you have a problem with it, then make that change. Step up and support the people that you feel deserve the money. Once again, for the millionth time, I will say, I have no problem with anybody making money off the nerd community. If you're a former model, if you're a former singer, if you're a former whatever, you can make money off this community, good for you. Do you. Make your money. I get it. Hustle life is hustle life. We all got to pay our bills. But the point I was trying to drive home was for all the people in the nerd community that were upset that these outsiders were jumping in and making all the money. That's all I was saying. You can't knock people for having a fan base that wants to support them. You need to support the people that you feel deserve it. That's all I kept saying. In that speech, I had made a joke about the quote unquote outsiders making money off of the community. I'd said things like there's former models and fitness trainers and just all these people coming in. And I also had mentioned, I even heard there was a Playboy Playmate out here cosplaying trying to make money. The joke I had said was like, look, if you couldn't make that much money in Playboy, I don't think the cosplay money is going to be any better. We all know a lot of cosplayers are broke. I'm a cosplayer. I ain't got no money. These materials cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in the cosplay community are broke. Playboy money is way better than cosplay money.
Oh, yeah.
So I just made that joke like, look, if you think this is better than what you was doing, nah, go back to that Playboy money. Side story about that, I didn't know her name. I didn't know if it was true or not. I didn't look it up. In passing, in conversation at a con or something, someone had just told me, hey, did you know that there's a Playboy Playmate out here trying to cosplay? I was like, oh, really? That's cool. Then I shot this video and it popped in my head. A lot of you know, I don't write scripts for my video. I just speak from the heart. And that happened to pop in my head in the video. I never named who it was. It was just a quick thing that popped in my head that someone told me. Hold on to that. Video gets done. Main message of that video was this. If you don't want outsiders taking all the nerd money, then put your money towards the real nerds. Period. I'm off enjoying my post-life-threatening accident vacation in London. For those who don't know, I got in a car accident and I almost died. I should have died, according to all the analysts that saw the car wreck. But I walked away. I survived. I decided to treat myself to travel the world. I told myself that because I survived, I'm not going to take any day for granted. So I wanted to travel the world. Anyways, I was off in London on my way to Paris, trying to do the whole Europe thing, right? Trying to stay off of social media. Next thing I know, I turn on my Wi-Fi. My notifications are blowing up. One of my friends even texts me, and I had to pay $2 to read that text on some international charges.
$2.
I was like, why is this person texting me? And then they were like, hey, do you know what so-and-so is saying about you? And then I spent another $2 to text back. Like, who? Yeah, it cost me $2 to say who.
Wow.
Then they texted me back, the Playboy Playmate you talked about, another $2.
Oh, God.
For some reason, I didn't even think about just messaging them on Facebook or Instagram.
You could have spent $2 to say, hey, hit me up on Facebook.
Yeah, but I was so caught up in the moment. I'm like, I saw all the notifications and that the text messages all came at the same time. Long story short, this text conversation cost me like $60 of just going back and forth of 2-word answers, right? Who? Wait, huh? Who? Huh? I could have just video messaged them off of Facebook or Instagram for free off the Wi-Fi, but I was caught up in the moment. $2 a message back and forth, whatever. I spent the money. I'm sitting there thinking, who is this person? But they said the Playboy Playmate. Finally looked at my social media feed. I'm looking at the comments in that video. And then there's this whole hate campaign started by this Playboy Playmate. She's on there trying to defend herself, which is fine. That's her right. But then I'm sitting there like, I never said your name. I never said anything about you. You exposed yourself. People didn't know I was talking about you. And the funny thing was, that video was kind of dead in the water. Because I posted it before I left. Weeks later, when I was in Europe, because she decided to make it a hate campaign against me, she got me a couple thousand views because she decided to make me her focus.
Oh, damn.
I'm like, thank you for bringing attention to my video that was dead in the water, first off. I get back to the States. I make a follow-up video explaining this. I pretty much said, look, I don't know who you are. Even while I make this video, I don't even remember your name. That's to show you how much I don't care about you. I didn't make an example out of you. You made an example out of yourself. I don't have any beef with you. She hits me up on Twitter like, hey, I see you're going to be at this con. I want to be there too. Let's meet up and work this out. I'm like, cool. I messaged her back Saying, dude, I don't have a problem with you. All right, let me know when and where. I'm just there shooting video. I'm free all weekend. She never responds. One of our mutual cos famous friends finds me at the con, like, hey, bro, do you really have beef with this person? I'm like, who? The key
Again.
word is who. I don't care enough to remember her name because she was never a person I was looking to attack.
Yeah.
I explained to him, yo, if you're friends with her, tell her I don't have any beef with her. I'm waiting for her to tell me when to meet up with her. He's like, okay, cool. I'm just checking. I didn't think you were the type to attack a person. I'm like, bro, you've known me for years. Have I ever flat out attacked someone like that? No, that's not what I do. I'm not trying to spill tea on people. He's like, oh, that's what I thought. So he told me he was going to relay the message. I'm sitting there waiting for this response. Never get it. I spoke my public piece. I'm thinking this beef is done. Of course it's not. Fast forward a year and a half later.
Oh, wow.
Almost 2 years. I can't even date it right now. I'm at Katsucon. I'm filming cosplay video. I shoot one of my friends. She posts a video clip and she's all happy that there's a video clip of her. She even told me at the con, like, hey, a lot of people don't shoot me because I'm a black girl, da-da-da-da. I shoot this very nice clip of her. She's happy. She's trying to celebrate on Twitter that someone shot a video clip of her. People are commenting, oh, you look so amazing. You look so amazing. Then all of a sudden, this girl, Miss Playboy Playmate, decides to pop up in the comments to go out of her way to say, at first, I liked your video until I read the credits and saw who shot your video. My friend was like, okay, what's wrong with Renji shooting my video? Well, let me explain to you. Renji has a problem with girls being sexy in cosplay. He said that people that do lewd cosplays or sexualized cosplays shouldn't make money, that they're not a part of the cosplay community, that we're not real cosplayers. So those were the highlights of what she said. Then my friend was like, I've been following Renji's videos for years. That doesn't sound like him. Well, let me send you a link to what he said. Here, I know you do lewd cosplays yourself, so he's talking about you too. So watch this video and you'll see what I'm saying. And these are all public comments on the Twitter feed. Like, these aren't DMs I got screen capped. I was tagged in this, so I saw all this on the public page. Don't quote me, but these are the gist of what she said. I'm thinking this beef was over when I said, hey, I made a follow-up video. I even Twittered her back, like, I don't have beef with you. That's cool. Let's meet up. Then years later, this grudge is still a thing.
Because she has nothing else better to do.
And I was like, wow, not only did you just be petty and bring up old shit that people thought was over,
Right.
you ruined someone's happiness. Someone that was genuinely happy to post this,
Right.
and you just took them down. Naturally, people were responding in that way, like, okay, but does that matter right now? This person is happy that someone shot a nice video of them and you're tearing down their moment. You're ruining their happiness. Why does it matter that this happened to you? This didn't happen to that person. Obviously, if Renji shot a person that does sexy cosplay, he doesn't have a problem with it. You're the only one that has a problem right now. So what is your deal?
Right.
So people were coming at her. And of course, she didn't really have much good responses, but I just stopped reading after a while.
Right. Because why?
Comes to find out that we have a lot of mutual friends. From what I'm told, the beef hasn't ended.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anytime there's mention of me in like a group forum, there's always some kind of shade thrown at me. Yeah, I don't have the same following that she may have or some of her peers, but I'm still in that conversation. I may not have the 500,000+ followers, or I'm not in the million club, but I'm still a part of this community. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm still a prominent figure in the community. I have a lot of mutual friends. Not to flex, but I'm gonna flex. Just because I don't have the following as a cosplayer doesn't mean I haven't organized events that have cut checks to cosplayers. I've done a lot of things where I've paid cosplayers to show up at my events. So yeah, now, you know what? I'm a flex on that. A lot of these cosplayers out here trying to chase a check. I'm out here throwing events, cutting checks, paying people to guest at my events. So of course I'm in these conversations. Of course people in that community know me. Anyways, despite all that, this shade is still thrown. Still to this
Hmm.
day, I don't get what the beef is about.
Right.
I've tried to ignore it. I've tried to let it go, but I'm kind of at the point to where like maybe I just need to have a world star moment and pull up with cameras rolling to get the evidence on video that I don't have beef with this person.
Hmm.
I've never had a problem with the Cos Famous. I've never had a problem with any of that. I don't even care outsiders coming to make money. I've said that, and I'm saying that again. And I still don't have a problem with you. But why do I keep popping up in your conversations?
Because this person basically just inserted themselves in a situation that had nothing to do with them in the first place. Like, no one knows your name. No one
Yeah.
said your name. No one even remembers your name. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
What's
and
wrong
people-
with you?
And people have just said that too. It's like, you're the one that's making yourself a victim. I never called you out. I'm just like Candyman, right? Keep my name out your mouth and ain't shit gonna happen. That's it. Hold up, pause everything. Some spooky shit just happened. So right when I was saying the thing about keep my name out your mouth like Candyman, first off, the camera shuts off. Then Siri goes off on my iPhone saying, I didn't understand what you just said. Bitch, did I say Siri? I
nobody
said
said nothing.
Candyman. And then Shauna made a point, she was like, how many times did you say Candyman? I was like, oh, crap.
And you done said it about like 10 times.
I
by
done
now.
said it a million times now, talking about keeping people's name out their mouth. And I'm just sitting there just saying his name.
Obviously, he ain't from the hood.
Ooh, he ain't playing, though.
He ain't from the hood, so he
Yeah,
don't know what he's
yeah,
talking
that
about.
was kind of creepy that Siri and the camera cut off at the same time.
Lord Jesus.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm in quarantine with this fool.
Anyways, more of the story. Keep people's name out your mouth. That's it.
Did you learn nothing from New Orleans?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Didn't we go to New Orleans?
yeah.
Ain't
we
some
did.
shit happen out there too?
Yes, but we'll talk about that in another
Can you
podcast.
relax? Can we bring it back to one?
Yeah, all right. All right. Steak dinner. We're back to the beef. All right. All right, Shauna. Let me throw the steak back to you. Let me have that beef. Oh.
All right, so my next cosplay beef is someone that I met before I really started cosplaying. This person is prominent within the cosplay community, or at least he was. For the sake of this video, we will call him Ichigo. That's a good name. Ichigo, because we got Renji as our guest right here.
And Bleach is coming back with a new season of anime, some war or whatever, but apparently the final season of Bleach was garbage. But for some reason they're gonna animate it. Anyways, back to Ichigo.
I call him Ichigo because just like when Bleach first came out at the time, he was one of the many Ichigo cosplayers.
Yeah.
He knew that I made cosplay. He loved Ichigo. He wanted to be that character. So he had bought material
Yeah.
in order for me to make this costume. He didn't pay me to make the costume. He just bought the material for me to make the cosplay for him. So I made this cosplay for him. He was very particular. This is the only costume that he had ever wanted in his life. Like, this is just the it thing that he wanted to be. So I go to make the cosplay for him, finished it. Mind you, I was still in school. I was in college. I was taking college classes. And I was making his costume in between classes because it was just that detrimental to this person. Like, he was just very, like, nerve-wracking. He just needed his costume sooner than later.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't really planning an event anytime soon or whatever, he just needed to have his costume in front of him at his own timely manner. So I made it for him. It was exactly how he had said. He saw the costume. He told me that he didn't like it because there were things that he wanted to change about it, things that he wanted to make more perfect and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I spent 3 weeks to a month making this costume for you. Why didn't you say that before? Long story short, fast forward, I made the same costume for him at least 3 times.
Damn.
And he paid for the material 3 times because he kept changing things in his
Yeah.
mind. Things that were imperfect, things that he thought that needed to be changed.
Being a Bleach cosplayer myself, Ichigo cosplays or any Bleach cosplays for the fact, weren't that complicated.
It's just a Shinigami, your
Exactly.
Yakima, your pants,
It was
your
Hakama samurai pants and whatever
Hakama, yeah.
jacket or robe you had. That was it.
That's it.
And even if the details were off, nobody would know the difference because all the Bleach captains or vice captains or whatever, they all look the same.
It was just very exhausting. So
Yeah,
it's
especially
just,
with Ichigo, it's black on black. You're not going to notice those details.
and I want to point this out just to show him in this like crazy light, because this is just how crazy he was about this costume. He went as far as researching what kind of material he wanted. This is how specific he was. I wanted 30% cotton and 50% something else. It's like, oh my god, dude, like, can you just keep it simple? Keep it simple. Like, this is just a Shinigami. That's
Yeah.
it. And again, like, he was just shopping at Walmart and it wasn't anything special that they had. If you're just that particular, then you need to figure out something on your own. So I kind of just let him go at that point, but in the cosplay sense, he was talking to me in ways where it's just like he could have just pissed off for all I cared, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it became very abusive.
but it just came down to the fact, like, we were still friends from the fact that, you know, he still took me places that I needed to go
Yeah.
to. I was still someone that he wanted to hang out with and like keep around him. It just came down to the fact that it was just like a give and take kind of
Yeah.
thing between us two. So that's just the relationship that we had. It's not like we were best friends and we just talked forever and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At the same time, he had this girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
this girl that was also in the costume, the cosplay community, Ichigo. He was just very flirty and open and just like having a good time all the time. Like, his girlfriend really didn't like that. And I could tell because she would have talks with me like, you know, my boyfriend, he's doing this, but he's doing it because he likes you. And it's like, I don't have any control of that. Like, if he likes me or whatever, then
Yeah.
if this person is trash, then why are you with him? You
yeah,
know?
exactly. Like, why you telling me how shitty your boyfriend is?
Right. It was never like that between me and him. He would be like outgoing and friendly, I guess, a little bit too friendly for her liking, but me and him were never like in that romantic state. Like, he
Yeah.
never came out and said, "Hey, I like you." But his girlfriend didn't like that. Comes to find out, the more I hung out with him, the more I saw what he was really up to. His girlfriend and this other girl were friends. Comes to find out that this girl was literally his side chick while
Ooh.
he was with his
Yeah.
girlfriend. But they all knew about it. They were all doing this, like, they were in like this open relationship, I guess, at some point. Obviously,
Okay, hold on. You're saying a lot. All right, let's back it up. All right. So Ichigo was in a relationship.
yes,
He had a girlfriend, but he also had a side chick.
yeah,
The side chick and the girlfriend knew about each other.
Yeah.
So she wasn't a side chick. So he had a harem of girls.
I knew about this girl that was his girlfriend, but I never cared about how he was with other girls because I didn't care.
Yeah.
I never cared. His girlfriend was mad at me because he was showing me a little bit more attention, but then it wasn't until I found out about this side chick where I'm like, then why do you care about me? Like, I don't give a shit. But I guess she was coming from a place where, oh, if Ichigo can just carelessly have this other girl in our lives and then, you know, I just deal with it. I don't want a third girl
Yeah.
in this relationship. I just want it to be, if it has to be me and her, then it just has to stay with me and her.
So she was already not happy with the other girl, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
was just trying to prevent more people from.
Mind you, I didn't know about this other girl.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he had a threesome with these women.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So her looking at me like that, I understand.
Yeah.
I never had any interest in being a part of that
So-
trilogy.
The trilogy, the Bleach Ichigo trilogy. So how'd you find out about the other girl?
The other girl got mad because Ichigo was doing something wrong that she didn't like. I guess he was taking advantage of her. And then this girl was also a mutual friend of me and my boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Something must have happened between her and Ichigo to the point that she was coming to me and venting about what had happened between her and Ichigo, and like
Yeah.
shit just kind of went down,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
was just venting about it and just unraveling everything that was going on between them.
She probably spilled so much tea. You're like,
when she came out with her tea and started spilling everything about what had happened between them, it was shocking because I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know you were seeing this guy. Like when she spilled her tea about what had happened, I started looking around at Ichigo as him as a person. Like
Yeah.
anytime that I hung out with Ichigo, it was always with girls.
Yeah.
Not saying that he like did stuff with those other girls, but like those girls had significant points in Ichigo's life. Like
Yeah.
they all did something for him. Me being one of them that I realized I was his seamstress. His girlfriend was his girlfriend. This other girl, his side chick, was his side chick. And these other girls also did stuff with Ichigo, or for Ichigo, I should say. So my beef with him was that he just kept inserting me into his life to where I was just adding to what I could do for him. It took me a long time to realize that because I didn't really think of it like that. And when we severed ties with me making cosplay for him, then that's when things kind of like changed. He was like more hostile towards me and more like weird towards me after that because I couldn't provide a service for him. It just became a whole different situation, and like comes to find out later on that he really did have feelings for me because he flat out told me one day when I was out of town for a while, and he's like, you know, I miss you. And I'm like, what do you mean you miss me? Like, as a friend? Like, what's going on? And he's like, no, I miss you because, and don't take this the wrong way, but I like you and I wish I could be with you, but I wish it wasn't with you.
Uh-huh.
Like
Oh.
he was pretty much saying like he liked the person that I was, but he wished that it wasn't me because I would always talk out against him and I would always be that girl that would like always judge him and
Yeah.
like overpower him in a
Yeah.
way. Cause I noticed like the girls that he kept close to him were always the kind of girls that would just keep quiet and when
Yeah,
like
yeah.
talk to him. The harem of girls that he had around him were just like quiet and mousy.
Yeah.
But I would always be like the argumentative type and like always go against what he's saying and like always challenge him in a
Yeah.
way. But he hated that. He hated that so much.
So he was just trying to add you to his little squad of girls.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds like. So it makes sense. Dig.
Final side note, in the last podcast, Trix, remember Trix?
Yeah.
When Trix was into his whole producer director thing, he was on this indie film, something that he was working on with somebody
Yeah.
else. We'll call him David. Trix was working with David on this film, this like nerdy indie film.
Yeah.
How I met Ichigo was a part of that whole crew.
Yeah.
Just to glue it all together
Just to bring it all together.
just to bring it all together because I was friends with Trix at the time. Trix was on the same production as David.
Yeah.
And David had Ichigo come
Yeah.
in as a part of like the cast and crew and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. It's just maybe I just knew how to pick them back then, but like it was
Yeah, you sure picked a bunch of winners.
yeah, I was young and just wanted to get out of the house. That's basically all I wanted
Okay,
to
so
do.
what do you think Ichigo's biggest beef was with you? Let's just bring it back to the beef. So
His biggest beef was that he wanted to keep me in his little group of girls,
yeah.
but that didn't last long. We had very limited time together.
Yeah. So okay, so it just sounds like the whole making the cosplay was just an excuse to keep you around until he built up the courage to try to add you to his roster. So he was just salty that you never joined.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he was salty about that. So shortly after that, like we just pretty much had spotty contact, and spotty contact led to no contact, and I just never really talked to him ever again after that. And actually, I'm glad you brought him up again because he actually had beef with you.
Oh snap! Of course.
You.
Of course.
'Cause do
Just
you remember?
add that
What is your
to
name?
my list.
What is
I'm
your
fan
name?
service Renji.
Renji.
I cosplayed Renji from Bleach.
He was Ichigo.
I thought he had beef with me. I met him, I think, at ASIN, and we took some pictures together.
Hmm.
He came and asked me to take some pictures during the group shoot. I'm thinking we was cool, but then like as the years went on, he was always weird, and I would hear whispers within the cosplay community that there was an Ichigo cosplayer that didn't like me. and I could never pinpoint who it was. Being one of the few Renjis in the Bleach community amongst millions of Ichigo cosplayers, I'm not gonna go out of my way to figure out which Ichigo doesn't like me. Every time I would see this Ichigo that you're referring to, he would always just try to say something to me.
Mm-hmm.
We would always awkwardly take pictures together. I would notice that. Kind of good at reading people, and I was like, something was off.
Mm-hmm.
And now it makes sense that this Ichigo didn't like me. Before Ichigo said, what's your proof that he had beef with me?
He had always mentioned someone who was this like Renji cosplayer who was also shirtless. Oh, I say also because Ichigo liked to cosplay a shirtless version of Ichigo. That's why he had beef with you. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that you were also shirtless because he thought he was the only one.
Well, it made sense for Renji to be shirtless because Renji has body tats.
Renji was shirtless.
Yeah,
at some
he had
point.
body tats.
Mhm.
So I wanted to show off the body tats. All right, so before I consider this beef real beef, you need to like give me more evidence and just drive this point home.
So we were going to a convention together. We were on our way to this convention out of
Okay.
state. He knew that I guess you were gonna be there.
Yeah.
So the whole ride there, mind you, this was like a 6-hour drive
Uh-huh.
from Chicago to this place. This whole trip, he was talking about this one person, this person that he could not stand, this one person that just irked him to the point where he was just livid the entire car ride, and he was just like, "Oh, and this person is the cosplays as Renji, and I don't like him because he's always shirtless, and he thinks he's so great. He thinks he's just the best person ever. He thinks he's like the hullabaloo of the world."
Hullabaloo. The hell is hullabaloo mean? Anyways.
He is the bee's knees. Like he's just like going into detail about why he hates this person.
Yeah.
And like the whole car ride, I'm just like riding with him. I don't even really think about it because I don't know anyone in the cosplay community at this point. Like I'm just going along for the
6
ride.
hours of hearing about
6
a person
hours.
you don't know. Okay.
And literally, he talked about this one person for 6 hours. 6 hours. I took a nap, woke up, and he's still talking about this person. Literally, we stopped for food, and we ate, and he continued the story like it never stopped. I'm like, who is this person you're talking about? I want to know because I need to put a face to a name right now. I don't know who you're talking about, but it's boring, and I kind of just don't want to talk about this anymore. So while he's listening to Lady Gaga play in the background, I remember because he loved Lady Gaga and he played her the whole trip ride
Wow.
there. So between Lady Gaga and him talking about this faceless person, I'm just like,
I mean, I like Lady Gaga, but damn, 6 hours worth
Yeah.
of Lady Gaga.
Mhm.
I can only rah so many times.
So by the time I get to this convention, I'm like, yay, we're finally here. So then we all get ready for the convention. And then who do we see? This person that he's talking about, that he was talking about for 6 hours in the car ride. And I'm still just like I don't care. Like I just want to go like do something. So then he's like, there he is. There he is. By the water fountain drinking water. Look at him drinking water all slowly like it's a movie. Like it's all slow motion. I'm like, are you having like feelings for this person? Like is this like, do you like this guy? There he is with his shirt off. Oh, look at him. His nipples glistening in the sunlight. Look at him. Just over there being
Damn.
sexy. And,
Details.
I'm
That's
like,
details.
I just see this dude in a Richie costume. He was pretty hot. He had like his abs showing and like the tattoos were on point and everything. I was like, that's awesome right there.
Yeah.
Like as he's talking shit, he's taking his own like costume
Yeah,
off, like he's
yeah.
getting shirtless. He's like, yeah, motherfucker,
Yeah.
stupid. He's taking it as he's taking his shirt off himself.
Wow.
There was like this bleach shoot and like this really epic, huge bleach shoot and that he was trying to get ready for. And I guess this other guy, Renji, is over there getting ready for the same shoot. So
You know the other guy you're talking about is me.
yeah.
Like this other
But
guy. I'm right
I'm
here.
telling the story like
From
from
your
my
perspective,
perspective because
yeah.
I didn't know who you were, so
Yeah.
I'm just like, like whatever.
Mhm.
So like we make it out to the bleach shoot, and he's still like across the way, just look at him over there, he's so sexy. Like,
Damn.
I hate this guy. He's so stupid, and just get in the shot so I can take this picture, so I can go do my own thing. Just do your shit. So, long story short, painfully long story short, he mentioned you and talked shit about you for 6 hours straight. I didn't know who you were at the time. Sorry about that. But
Don't be. Hold on. That's making my head itch.
so this whole time he's like talking shit about this person, and I'm just like, I'm thinking that you're this ugliest person in the world. I'm thinking that you're like the shittiest cosplayer in the world. It comes to find out you're like ripped with muscles and got tattoos all over. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
That was me back in the day.
Damn.
I'll take that credit.
So that's my proof.
Wow. Like, I always thought this dude had beef with me. I just could never confirm it. Nobody would ever flat out tell me.
He's bitter.
It makes sense now. It was kind of a war between, like, which popular Bleach cosplayer they want to side with. Because him as Ichigo, people loved him. He was a fit, tall guy. He looked good. And I was a fit Asian guy, and I looked great.
He hated you. Apparently.
So I get it. For the cosplay beef, it's like we're in the same series. He's trying to be the main character. I'm just a side character. So I get it. I get the beef. I didn't know it was that serious. Anyways, wow. Cosplay beefs. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for verifying the whispers and the suspicion I had of this person.
He wasn't whispering.
Of course he wasn't whispering if multiple people have spoken the same truths you have. Anyways, let's wrap this podcast up. Cosplay beefs, we all have them. Don't feel a type of way if someone comes after you. Unfortunately, a lot of people in this cosplay community these days are super petty. They're going to start beefs with you for no reason. They're going to hold grudges with you for no reason. As long as you know you ain't in the wrong, then forget about it. Just let these people hate. With that said, you got anything else to say?
I'm fresh out.
Okay.
I'm fresh out.
I'm just checking. I'm
fresh out of news.
Fresh out of tea. The tea factory is dried up. Anyways, guys, as we said before, follow us on all social media if you want to see all the other things we're into, like cosplay, fashion. We doing a lot of things these days. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Shinobi Squad podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella. Thanks for listening, guys.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.